Previously on Ososik.
I think something blew up, unfortunately.
Oh, he said it's okay.
What?
Moment of truth. We have not seen.
You haven't opened
No, I haven't even opened the hood yet.
You want me to open it?
What if it? Actually, you go ahead and open. I don't even. What if it's not even blown up? That'd be weird. All right, so here we go. We are now officially taking the motor out for the first time in the 11 Gen. And, well, look at that. All right, once we get all this out, we'll start taking everything off of it and do an official teardown, which will be coming up. So do not click away from this video because you're not going to want to miss this. And we'll see where we go from there. But this teardown is going to be fun.
You ready? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Me?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say no because then it's. Oh, I need to take a nap. No.
It's about to get messy.
What?
The teardown. Mm-hmm. There's a moment everybody's been waiting for. Everybody.
Well, I'm ready.
Here, take the motor out. I figured it's best to have you here when we do the full teardown of the motor so that we can have two eyes on it and see what exactly happened.
What happened?
Even though we pretty much already know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we could go over the log and everything too and show all the viewers what would have been the stage YOLO.
Yeah, 31 degrees at peak torque. Nah, it's fine. All right, let's go see.
Let's go. All right, we are back and ready to start tearing down. usually when I do this stuff, I kind of take my time, but I'm also recording half the time. But I mean, tell everybody how long you've actually been. I mean, because you've taught me a lot too over the years, even when it comes to engine building. But let everybody know how long you've been personally building. And I know you've learned from someone too. So
yeah, I've been working on cars. Well, not cars. You can say I've been kind of doing this since 2003, 2004.
And who taught you about engine building?
It's a combination of my dad and a combination of my dad and I don't know if you guys ever heard of Joe McCarthy from Prototype Racing, rest in peace. So that's where it comes from.
Yeah, see, and you know what I've learned over the years too with anybody in the industry, it's like we all learn from pretty much multiple people. So as for me personally, I learned a lot, especially at least when it comes to engine building from Saul, which was Mission Critical Performance, who I used to work with doing 5-axis cylinder CNC cylinder heads, RIP. But I also learned from Daniel as well, and I think it's pretty cool to learn from multiple people because everybody has kind of their own method. But as far as working on cars, obviously I learned from my family, like my brothers and
Start from
my
here.
dad.
We're gonna start from here.
The more involved you get, the more complex things get, and you know, it's always good to learn from others. So right now you are seeing a master at work. You know, you don't
No
want
instruction manual, it's freestyle. You got time for all that.
I feel like I should time you.
Maybe. I'm gonna try to figure out what's the. That's one thing I look around. I'm trying to see what's the easiest, non-invasive way to get things off. So.
And if you've never gone this far in depth on working on cars, one general rule of thumb that it's kind of like a not a rule, but it's like a very helpful thing to do. Ziploc bags, and you get a Sharpie. That way, when you take things off, like especially bolts, let's say for example the valve cover bolts, you put all the bolts in the same bag and you label it valve cover bolts. That way, when it comes time for assembly, especially for those that you know have the project sitting for a long time, and eventually as time passes you end up forgetting what's what, at least you labeled everything to know where it came off of. And if you're like everybody in the world, well, sometimes you're left with extra bolts.
Not me. I don't do that.
Oh, not Daniel.
No.
Okay, just me. That's just me then.
I don't do extra bolts. Same time, so this can come as your flex fuel kit. We don't want to break anything, so you gotta do everything. It makes it all replaced, but trust and believe it's being done. Clean, and this shop is cold, so a lot of this stuff is kind of like.
It is cold. See, it gets cold in Hemet, right?
It gets hot and cold in here.
It's 4 seasons here.
For real. Behind, so one thing I do to practice, we take something off. Right? I get that harness. I'm gonna put that bolt right back where I got it from.
Yep.
And that, you know, that bolt has to go right there. Not a bolt that's a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, because then that gets on my nerves. It needs to be that bolt, that's where it came from. It needs to go back right here. Or if you have some way of marking it, you can mark it if you don't want to put it back on.
And that's marking it as the whole Ziploc bag trick. But there's a lot of times too, is which I forgot to mention, is you could put the bolts as when you just throw the.
And I'm not saying tight it down. I just kind of just go like, you know, just a little. Okay, it's there. It's good. So now next, again, we're trying to figure out how to get all this stuff off in one piece.
Whoa!
So then,
Yeah.
put the bolts back where you found them, or you can put it in the bag if you want, whatever makes you sleep good at night.
Well, this is the type of stuff you could put the bolt back on. There's certain situations where you take them off and then there's nowhere for you to put the bolts back in. So
If you don't have
you're going to clean it or you're going to.
If you don't have a good memory, I'd probably say put the bolts back where you found them. I would think my memory is somewhat okay, but I still put them back where I found them. If it's easier that way.
You got that? Don't you have another engine to build soon?
Yeah. I have 2 more to build.
Oh, 2 more. No, I'm talking about the one that needs to get done for the weekend.
Forefront engine that is in pieces right now. Yeah, I mean, it needs to get built. It needs to get built and put in the car.
Oh,
and
man.
some fabrication. And put it this way. A week from today will be the last day I'll be able to work on the car, and I haven't even started yet. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, here's a cat in here, okay? We like clean air.
We like clean air.
We're complying, okay?
We're compliant.
Sir.
And, hey, we're compliant and we still go to the racetrack.
Yes.
And the tunes that you develop are helping the environment. Yeah, that's what happens. See what happens about having clean floors?
Yeah,
You can find where something falls. Except for that right there. What is that? Who dropped packaging right there? So how does the turbo look? Let's start there. Can you turn it towards the light so I can... So first inspection of actually seeing the turbo, does it feel like it's spinning good?
It's small. I mean, it's fine to me. It ain't hidden.
See?
Yeah. So
the turbo's still good. It survived
turbo's still good. It survived the
blown motor.
abuse, the negligence, whatever you want to call it. Oh well, my tunes out. Never mind.
If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen any of our previous videos from even our older cars, is up. You could believe it or not, but we purposely push the limits because 1, we can, and 2, because why would we limit ourselves? We just want to see, we're just trying to have fun. If I didn't want to have fun, we would just keep the car stock.
Buy a Prius or something.
Buy a Prius. There ain't no fun in that. That's fun.
You drain the oil in this thing, or did it
Yeah,
all
it's straight.
blow out?
Well, both actually.
Okay.
So it all blew out, but also drained the oil and nothing came out. So
Again, exhaust components. I like to kind of like, break it loose by hand just to make sure we're not costing anything.
I'm gonna go check on Daniel. I had to take a little break. He should be. See how far he is.
Let me see. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. One in the,
What are you doing?
the thumb in the. What are you?
That's a good. Yes.
It's a good size, you know. Okay, so
Alright, so now that everything's kind of off, you can see this is a exhaust port. Well, that's a what's the correct term? Mono.
well,
And now it's not even a mono
not
port.
really a
now it's
monoport.
dual.
It's a mono is a.
It's a dual.
dual.
mono port?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a dual monoport.
All right, so that's dual right there. So that's different on the 11th gen, and that's also different on the 11th.
And so in this new model we have it's a monoport twin scroll.
Right.
Twin.
Oh, so it's two. Oh,
Twin,
okay.
twin, yeah, see?
So eventually it's gonna go to 4.
Yeah,
2,
see,
the one.
Honda did this, and then we went ahead and we installed these windows right here. So now all we gotta do is we have to install some curtains because the curtain Honda put right here was a turbo, so we got to put our own curtain right here.
Yeah.
And then so.
Or maybe we could just have somebody weld a header.
No, here, see,
to kind of-
curtains. We're ready to go again.
Yeah. Or some JB weld.
Yeah.
Or some flex. What's that? Flex seal right there. So you could definitely see now. Oh, you can't see a light. This is gonna get interesting. You guys can't see it because of the lighting, but I can see a rod right there. But you know what? We're gonna keep going so you guys can get a full look at that. You do not want to click off this video because that rod right there.
It clicked off. Don't you click off.
The rod clicked off. Don't you click off.
That's the 31 degrees at peak torque.
That's a 31 degrees peak torque.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how much boost we were actually running.
Maybe
like,
equal boost and timing. I don't know. Who knows?
Going to the track. Oh. You hear that? Was that a 10 mil? That was a 10. That fell inside.
That fell inside.
Oh. All right.
All right, we'll get it later.
Good thing we're taking it out. What was it?
A 10 mil. Okay. So
Of course, it had to be a 10. Hey, did you guys know, this total side note while he's doing that, Snap-on makes the ultimate kit. It's right here. It is, Snap-on makes this kit. It's right here. It's the 8-piece essential 10mm socket set. All these are 10 mils. So if you ever lose a 10 mil, you got a bunch right there. But in this case, he lost a 10 mil bolt. So.
Let's put this right here.
Before he starts tearing into his prey, he just needs to know the best way to possibly execute it and make sure it's just finished off completely. Did that bend up? No, it's been like that. Wait, what are you doing?
Let me see if we can make some adjustments here. Let me see.
You just broke a hole in the block.
We got another window in here so you can see better what's going on.
Oh, okay, so I was blocking it.
Yeah. Just make sure you wear goggles because if it shatters, it gets in your eyes. You might have some problems. But, you know.
Technically, you're supposed to wear goggles on everything.
Yeah.
See if it's doing it. Well, you got to hold it up, right?
So you know, I say wear goggles. Here's my goggle right here. If it explodes, it'll explode in my hand. This gun is weak. Okay,
Not gonna do it.
all right, just get the
Sorry.
trusty tool.
I really? You sure the battery's full now?
Yeah, it's full, bro. Let's see if I have it on full power.
No, that's one setting.
Oh yeah.
It's like everything we do is just full setting at all times.
Well, it's not. Well, it's exactly. It's like an L15B.
Oh no. A little keyway. Let me see.
It's kind of digging in. Not too bad though. But.
Yeah, just all up on the cam gear. That's right. All right, let's see what we're looking at.
I didn't put that there for no reason. It served to be pride on.
So it could be pregnant. Okay. It's looking a little different than the 3 gens. Now on the drag Civic, and a couple other people too reported this gear breaks. We've actually, at the track before we could even do a pull, we realized we had broken one. So we have several of these as spares so that if we're ever at the track and it breaks, we can swap it out. Not gonna shoot out, right?
Mm-mm. Shouldn't.
Hope not. Alright, I leave for like 2 minutes. You spill a bunch of chlorine everywhere. So safe to say it still had some coolant in there.
Yeah, you didn't punch the water jacket.
Oh, so I should have. You know what? Next time I'll try harder.
You gotta try harder. You gotta blow
Next time you're driving the car, if you can just please just make sure all the fluids come out.
Yeah, when it lays down, just keep going. You don't let off. You might still win the race.
You couldn't even make a lap. Did you see it? Did you see the video?
I seen it.
Yeah. It was like half a lap. That's all bad. Wait, what are you doing?
Removing the head.
Those are little head bolts, though. Do you really need that much torque for it?
Not really, but.
Want me to help you? Here.
No.
Let me see. Here, let me grab this side. Let me see.
Here.
Here.
It's just the motors.
You hold the motor because you spilt the whole ocean right there. But you hold the motor and I'll do this right here. Let's see how strong I am. You guys think I could do it?
Go.
One hand on the thing, one hand on the camera. Oh.
Hold on, bro. Are we loosening it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. What the?
Keep sliding everywhere. It's slippery. Yeah, hit somebody with that. All right, so it's a blow motor. Are you doing it in order, or are you just gonna YOLO it?
In order.
Oh, okay.
See how Honda put this on. Tight or not?
This is a moment of truth, though, because we're soon to find out. So the new block is already here. I did not order a cylinder head, so the big question remains: did the cylinder head get messed up when the engine blew? I hope not, because one, that's probably the most expensive part on the L15, but two, it also means more downtime. Look at this. Daniel's probably the only person I allow to make a mess of this.
Yeah.
But the parts that you guys don't see is he actually helps clean up when we're not filming, so. Alright, let's see, here it goes. Flip it upside down, let's see. Quick inspection. No!
It hit.
No!
Yeah.
In certain cases, I guess it depends on how you are financially. If you are financially stable, you should get a new head.
That's how we feel about this.
If you want to keep things on a budget, send the head out and
reuse the head gasket.
and reuse it. All right, so let's see what we got going on around here. Are you mopping cardboard right now?
It was on the floor.
Oh, okay. All right.
See a little bit oil. Okay, so you see, piston number 3 is missing. So this is the stage YOLO Plus.
I know where it's at. D, do you know where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go get it so you can show Daniel what it looks like? We actually found the piston taking the motor out of the vehicle.
Thanks. So did it come out of the hole that made bigger,
or? Actually, nope. It came out through the front.
Well, this is like a piece of it. We have to replace the piston rings you fried.
Well, and the piston kind of rocked a little bit. You know, you learn this at UTI. The piston rocked a little bit, and then that's what.
Hey, if you're getting an education, bro, by all means.
So
hey,
UTI came, it went in, and then pretend you don't see this, and then it came out at bottom dead center. Okay. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I like this one. This is one for the book right here.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are y'all built? Are y'all built for this?
Think about that life. We should do a picture, and then it would be like, and it's like me holding stage YOLO.
Oh, there's other piston inside of it. Okay. Well, oil pan did his job.
Oil pan did his job to catch everything. The rings, in my diagnosis, the rings they just couldn't hold. So that they couldn't hold, you know, they fell in that oil pan. Now the trusty, now the wrist pin is the real MVP. It got crushed a little bit, you know, that's from the extreme pressure, you know.
Okay.
Like this motor really makes that much horsepower. So, but yeah, so it didn't crack.
Oh, look. Right here, what do we got right there?
But you know, okay, now that I look at this, what really happened, I'm being silly right now.
Oh.
See, when we see how these the teeth are angled, so this is adjusted our timing. This is what they also did at UTI. When your teeth move, then it advances the timing by.
Oh, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? So
makes sense.
You know, the motor blew because of itself.
Oh, because it's self-advanced.
It's self-advanced.
I see, that makes sense.
So maybe Honda left a bolt loose, it tagged it, the thing got bent, it advanced the timing, it blew the motor.
So it's not even anybody's fault.
It's not really nobody's fault.
Okay.
So.
All right. So just kidding. Oh, hold on.
So that should be covered in warranty then.
That should be covered under warranty because I'll go to Honda and be like, hey, the teeth moved so it advanced the timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes total sense, and it's equal too. So.
It
Oh,
makes
is that the 10 mil you
It's
dropped
the 10 mil
earlier?
that we dropped earlier.
No, that wasn't that.
Yeah, we had to
That was our fault.
We had to take this out before we go back to Honda because then they're gonna blame us for this part. They're gonna be like, whatever that black guy was that was working on your car, he didn't put the bolt back on correctly. So.
All right, but okay, because I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna believe half the shit we just said. In all seriousness,
Insert disclaimer.
In all seriousness, this is the inside of the block. Catastrophe. That is the rod. Look at how that got bent. Got crushed. That's where also the wrist pin got crushed. There's other piston right there, part of the piston. So, with your experience, what do you feel failed first? Or is this just way too much that we can't even?
I just think it just, you know, this is all L15B is. It's an economy engine that Honda put a turbo on. When you overpower any engine, this type of stuff can happen. So,
Well, rods broke, pistons broke.
the oil pickup's still good.
Oil pickup's still good. This probably has.
Oh, here we go. Here's a part of the block. We can weld that back on there.
All right. Looks like we're good. That's the only survivor. Oh, look! So here's
the oil squirter is missing.
Here's a clear indicator that the rod snapped first, at least on number 3. And as you can see, the rod is snapped in half right there. And is the piston still on that one? No, that's the one where the piston came out, right? Yep.
Let's see. No, let's go the other way. Hold on. We got something blocking.
Well, maybe all the metal shavings in there.
No, there.
Okay.
No. Just for you guys' entertainment. So the interesting part is number 3, the piston is not there when we took the head off. Okay, the rod's here. But number 4, the piston's there, but it doesn't move. The rod came off of number 4, so it was like, what happened first? Did the rod fling off of number 4 and then number 3 broke, or vice versa? This is the first time that I've seen this type of engine break 2 rods at the same time, and one exited the building. So.
Yeah. So for sure they broke. Now it's just gone too far that we don't know in what order it broke.
What order it broke? Yeah. You know
But
what?
one thing's for sure is what caused it to break? Power.
Power. But one thing, we have a little bit of presents for you guys. So now we're gonna lift up the motor and we're gonna see what we have at the bottom here. A little, you know, some souvenirs. Or we have another wrist pin. More pieces of the block. Wrist pin. Oh, here's a cap. We can just bend this back and reuse that. We have, you know, a bearing. You know, let's see. How does the bearing look? Let's see.
Yeah. See what
How the bearing looks. Bearing is not that bad. I don't see. Yeah, it still has the coating on it.
Okay.
So it wasn't a bearing failure. Just, you know, the rod just
Crushed it.
Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so. Oh, and then we have a top of a rod bolt right here.
Oh.
That snapped.
That
right
one's
there.
probably the number 4.
Yeah, so it could, you know, who knows? It could have been if this rod bolt failed and, you know.
So it's just so much happened that.
Yeah, a lot happened.
Well, now that we got the engine torn apart, that's junk.
Pretty much.
The cylinder head should still be salvageable. Obviously, it's going to need some parts, like the valve, but then we're going to check everything like the valve seats, guides, etc. So, but the dents that it made on the cylinder head, it's not really a big deal, but I guess if you wanted to be picky, you could get a brand new cylinder head.
You can get a brand new set or we can get that one.
We're not going to do that. We're just going to get it refurbished, and obviously we got a brand new block which is already here. So yep, it's gonna be a little bit more downtime just because now we are forced to kind of get that sent out and checked out.
So if you're cool with it, Nick, I mean, this basically is turned into a trash can. So all the parts, I'm gonna throw it in here.
Oh, that's
I mean, this is-
you know what, let's just save that right there. Yep, let's save that so I can probably frame it.
like that.
Okay,
We're gonna save this.
I already saved the other piston.
I saved the other piston. Oh, this might as well get the wrist pin. Too.
Oh, the wrist pin too would be a good one.
Well, we have 2 wrist pins.
Let's do the crushed. Let's save the crushed one.
So we have.
There you
Oh,
go.
both. So we got that wrist pin there,
There you go.
and then we have the other wrist pin.
Nah, just save the first one. There you
First
go.
one?
I don't need. All right.
So
Now time to clean up, and you know what I'm more curious about? I want to go over the log because we actually use the Honda FlashPro to data log everything up until the motor exploded. So I'm curious if you guys are curious to see what the stage YOLO tune that we had in the works was gonna have to offer. Well, you're about to find out right now in this video, so hopefully you guys are still watching. And if you know a couple people who started watching the video and they clicked out of it, you might want to resend it to them and tell them to watch the whole thing, because now it's time to sit in front of the computer and see just how much not power, but see how aggressive we were on this. And unfortunately, even though it was a stock turbo again, still gave out. All right, you got the lock pulled up?
I lock pulled up.
All right, before you zoom in, hold on. Look at that. So where's the flat line?
Right here, this is.
So that's where the motor blew. That's done.
So looking at the log, first
Obviously, that's a lot for somebody who doesn't know. We're not going to get into the whole teaching you guys. If you guys want to know and learn how to, set up all the variables and parameters and understanding, have a better understanding of reading data logs, let us know in the comments, and then maybe Daniel can do a little 101 on that.
Yeah.
But for now, I say Daniel, keep it simple for the viewers so that they can see
So
what we were doing before it blew.
So roughly on this tune, we're targeting 299 kPa.
All right, and the KPA, can we go ahead and convert that to?
And 200. So basically, if we want to round up, we're targeting, 300 kPa, which is around 29 pounds of boost. That's what we're targeting. So you can see right here when he's rolling into it, it has a peak boost rolling in at 32.3 pounds of boost on the map sensor, which on the boost pressure sensor we have 322.1 kPa. So that's on average. That's the highest boost that the motor was seeing. But then again, on average, once it leveled out, we're about right here, it's about 26 pounds of boost, 279 kPa. Let me see our ethanol content. Let me see what it was. Our ethanol content at the time was like a 65% ethanol.
Okay, so almost there, but
almost there.
That was just because there was no ethanol station, so I had to fill up a little bit of 91.
So kind of like we were discussing in the other teardown video, what we think or what we already knew would potentially happen, which is why we're testing the limits, is basically power is what killed the engine. On this particular tune here, and so okay, here's another thing. Another reason why you might have seen, not might have, because you actually seen it, the overshoot is because the traction control is kicking in. So the traction control kicks in, we're trying to control the traction with ignition timing. So looking at the log, if you guys want to take a quick look at it, you can look at it right here. So if you see this red, that's TC retard. So where we have this boost peak is where it's retarding timing. So our total timing at that point is only, if I go back again and look, it's -3 degrees of timing. So we're probably getting like an anti-lag effect, and okay, well, why was timing being retarded? Because obviously the tires are spinning, and the tires can be spinning because the conditions on the road is not hot. I mean, he was just warming the car up, getting the car going. So, I mean, we're having a little bit of tire spin because of track temp, tire temp, power. It was going to be the first shakedown of the car to see what was what. Granted, we'll doing laps around the track and we see it was too much power. Then when we came back into the pits, did some adjustments, lowered the power so we can get a better time on the car.
Keyword if.
If it would have made it around the track, we would have adjusted. But just so you guys can see, the overshoot was induced by time being pulled out. Yes, you could go in and adjust the traction control not to pull out as much timing, but it's only pulling out 7 degrees anyway. So it's like if we don't pull out any timing, the wheel spin's gonna become worse. So then I'll say in a scenario like this, you just gotta reduce the power output by lowering your target boost. Yeah, but we didn't even get to that point because the motor laid down before it even got up.
Yeah, and honestly, the tires, because I'm running the Yokohama AO52s, they probably could actually held it once the tires were warmed up.
All right, so then if I zoom in more, once you can say the wheel slip went away, on this at the top end, just so happens, like I said, we, usually we go out to the track and we see what it's doing and then we correct from there. But it was giving us at 25.9 pounds of boost, we're getting about 10 degrees of timing. And that was like around like 6,000 RPM. We ran more than that plenty of times before. Well, which gear are we in? This is telling me we're in 3rd gear. So, my assessment, if it did that in 3rd gear, then it's either going to be the tires or the track surface. Because usually in 3rd gear, you're not going to spin like that. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, it's 39 pounds of, not 39, we wish, 32 pounds of boost. Basically, we were trying to see how long is this engine going to last, but we know how long the 10th gen lasts, so we want to see how long is the 11 gen lasts.
Because the 10th gen lasted well over a year, actually.
Yeah, 10 gen lasts a long time, so it was okay, well, we wouldn't think that Honda would go backwards. Not saying that Honda's going backwards, we wouldn't think that this engine will last not as long. Yeah, so more of the story is we're purposely pushing, the motor to see how long it's going to last, what it's going to do. we already know what's going to do in the street. We were going to see what's going to do on the road course. So obviously that didn't happen for whatever reason. So, I mean, now from this point forward, we're going to kind of tone it down for the street because the car is for the street. It's a daily driver commute. We're not trying to like do a 9-sticker project like our other red race car. So obviously, I mean, like I said, we're targeting 299 kPa, but you know, for the street, we target like, you know, 265 or maybe a 272, depending on what the customer wants. We can also ramp the boost in. It doesn't have to come straight in at 265 and hold it. We can come in like at a 200 and ramp it up to a 265. Keep the torque, you know, at a certain amount.
And that's if you just want to play it safe.
Yeah, if you want to play it safe. And then even then, I mean, say the car on our dyno is making like, say, 340 torque. We can bring it down to like a 280, 290, but still, that might still be too much because, you know, torque is torque. So, I mean, if you want to be extra safe, you almost want to keep the torque levels close to stock, or if not, you know, see what stock is and then maintain on the top end. So
or
it just
leave
depends.
your car alone.
Or leave your car alone and stop. You know, like I said, we've proven and we found out in multiple different ways that this motor or the 11 gens are not as strong as the 10 gens. So if you don't want to worry about that and you have a budget or funds that allow for it, then I would recommend doing a piston and rod combo on stock sleeves, and that would, you know, then you can push it and not at least worry about your engine blowing up. You probably will have transmission problems, maybe, but that'll be the next stepping stone if you were to go that far.
And there's no rods for this motor right now anyways.
Yeah, so if you blow this motor like we blew the motor, you're gonna end up buying a whole loan block, and that can be probably, you know, over $5,000 in parts, and let alone the R&R to, you know, to get it back going. So I recommend for most of you guys, I'm assuming you spent like $30,000 plus on this car. I don't recommend you guys doing this unless
you're part of the industry, really.
You're part of the industry and you're trying to like do, you know, parts development or tune development or just R&D on, you know, what it can handle, which is what we're doing. That's why we're doing something. For you guys are wondering why did we do this, we're doing it on purpose to see how we can better serve the community with the tunes we do, whether it be a custom tune, stage tune, or just general knowledge of, you know, guiding people on what to do and what not to do if they ask. So
yeah, because on the 10 Gen 1.5, we kind of kept everything to ourselves. We didn't really want to share all our development
right,
for different reasons, but mostly it's just, you know, we just care about doing what we do for ourselves, and we're competing against ourselves, and that's just what we did. But now for the 11 Gen, I really wanted to be more transparent, show all of you guys like how much we normally boost, how much timing we do, how everything that we do, because whether some people agree that it's right or wrong, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're proving that we can do it, and sure, you will mess parts up, but we had a lot of fun.
and like Nick said, like we're trying to be more transparent now because it's like we don't want to see you guys blow your motors, because it's like we know a lot of people,
it's their only car.
It's their only car, and you know they don't probably have. Okay, you might have the money to fix something like this, but do you feel like spending the money you do have on rebuilding or fixing the engine of a car that you just bought like 6 months ago? Probably not. I don't think anybody wants to buy a car and mess it up in like 2 or 3 months. Well, except for Nick. So. But not even me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know, I'm fortunate that I have other cars to drive with. So, but that's why I bought this car. Bought this car so we could develop more stuff and push it to its limits and see exactly what we're doing. So aside from now, I haven't said what I'm throwing in there yet, but be sure to subscribe.
So you can see what the next best option is.
Next best option. All right, so as of now, you got the other laptops out because we're gonna go retune the Drag Civic, the 1.5 liter that's over 800 when we really push it on the track. So if you're not a believer in the 1.5s, well, you best believe, because we're about to show you one that we've done all of this legwork and we've proven if it's built, obviously, it can handle a lot of power. But again, that's also predicated on how much are you willing to spend for it to handle. Because you just with the super motor, the B58, you do basic bolt-on, and it's
all relative to, you can spend 20 grand on a 4-cylinder and make X amount of horsepower. You can spend the same 20 grand on a V8 and make more. It all depends on what your preference and your temperature is. Some people like 4-cylinders, some people like V8s, some people like V12s.
Yeah.
there's no downplaying any platform you're on. It's all different types of racing. So, hey guys, so we're gonna wrap up this video. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check on the race card, check the tune, make sure the tune is ready for our 9-second attempt. So if you guys want to see it, tune into the next video and stay tuned.
Drop your comments and remember, life's so sick. Live it.